Hi, and welcome everybody to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. It's Friday, March the 10th, and I'm joined by two great handicappers today. My name is Ross Benjamin, by the way, of rbwins.com. My two guests today, Jesse Shule of jesseshule.com and Mr. Joey D'Amico from Parts Unknown. No, anyway, sportsmemo.com and several other sites across the web, just like all of us.
Straight out of UCLA, Ross, corner of Lexington Avenue.
That's right. My alma mater, University of Corner of Lexington Avenue, born and raised.
There you go. In any event, guys, Jesse, coming off a 3-2 day yesterday, 4 straight winning days in a row now. Not bad, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, I was complaining about going 2-1. I thought I'd put out 5 games, and 3-2. It's better than a kick in the ass. I'm hoping to break out the yellow suit though eventually over the weekend.
Most things are better than a kick in the ass, by the way. Anyway, Joey, tough day yesterday, I know, but you had been on a tremendous roll. You were at the top of the leaderboards over at Sports Memo seemingly every day for about a week. How you doing, my buddy?
Well, Ross, yes, I was on a killer run, still one of the top guys in the world, both college and pro basketball on the leaderboards. But yesterday, a very technical term in the business, I pooped the bed, went 1-4 in premium plays. But worse than anything, Ross, I had 2 early games, 9 a.m. games Pacific time. I had people start putting up tweets. Joe D's going to sweep the board again. And as soon as they put that up,
kiss of death.
I looked at my wife. I said, Dion, no way do I win these 2 games. I lost one in regulation, the other one in overtime. And then I did go 1-2 in the evening games. But you know what? I got to tell you, world champion capper, I don't rest on my laurels, and I do take full responsibility for having a bad day for anybody that followed me. Ross, one thing people don't out there may not understand is this isn't just what we do. This is who we are. We walk it like we talk it. We bet our own games. But I know people like yourself, because I know you and I know Jesse a long time. We take a lot of pride in knowing that people out there trust us with their hard-earned money. Yeah. So I feel I'm twice as pissed off on bad days, because not only did I lose my bets, those people, I let them down. Twice as happy on winning days. But I will tell you, Ross, I'll turn it around like a champion I am, and I will avenge that today, redeem myself, and get everybody paid today.
Well, I'm betting on you, Joey. And, I went through 4 losing days in a row, but it bounced back yesterday with a 2-1 day as I had Penn State and Boise State winners. So back on the winning track, and I plan on keeping it that way for the foreseeable future. All right, we got 3 games that we're going to cover today in college basketball. All go tonight Eastern time. 2 games go at 7 o'clock Eastern time. That'll be Miami and Duke, which Joey will fill us in on. Jesse's going to talk about Arkansas and A&M, Texas A&M. That is 7 o'clock tonight. And I'll be looking at the Texas and TCU game that goes at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. So without further ado, Jesse, let's start with you. This is a very intriguing matchup, Arkansas and Texas A&M. I looked at this game, Jesse, and Texas A&M, they're winning, but they're not shooting the ball well at all. They're getting it done with defense. Arkansas, a little bit of a tailspin of late, even though they won yesterday against Auburn. I believe they're 2-5 in their last 7, if I'm not mistaken. But take it away, my friend. Tell us what you think.
Well, Ross, I know I'm supposed to be prepared for these shows, but I'm scratching my head. Maybe you can help me. Who's injured for the Aggies today? You know who's injured for the Aggies? Somebody must be injured. I don't think anybody's injured, but when I see this game at almost a pick 'em, I'm looking at the Aggies 23-8 overall, 15-3 in the SEC, finished second behind Alabama. They've won 8 of their last 9 overall. Their last game coming at home against number 2 ranked Alabama. They won that game 67-61. They held that Alabama team to 61 points. They've held 7 straight opponents under 70 points. Arkansas, on the other hand, they finished 8-10 in conference play, almost half as many conference wins as their opponent today. They lost their final 3 games of the regular season before winning their conference tournament opener against Auburn. The history between these two teams, the Aggies have covered in 8 of their last 9 versus Arkansas. Texas A&M is the better team. They might not be sexy. They might not be flashy. I know people like Arkansas. I know Arkansas had higher expectations coming into the tournament. But when I see this line, or not into the tournament, but into the season, but when I see this line, it's like the bookmakers are telling me, don't believe your lying eyes. I tend to believe my eyes when I see something, and I see Texas A&M as the better team. There's no way I could take Arkansas here. Even if you liked Arkansas, I think just out of principle, you should be getting 3.5 points. So you shouldn't bet it out of principle, even if you like Arkansas. So I'll take Texas A&M minus the 1.
There you go. And I know Joey likes anytime you have a head coach whose first name is Buzz, Joey is interested. So anyway, Joey, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, Ross, Jesse, another great breakdown, great analysis, what we come to expect from Mr. Jesse Shule, the Iceman. I want to tell you guys that I love this game more than a fat guy loves it. $2.99, all-you-can-eat Vegas buffet, and I live in Vegas. I see those fat guys come to town. They love those $2.99 all-you-can-eat. This is one of my strongest releases on the premium side on every website I'm on, so I cannot comment on it, but I can tell you this. I saw something in this game that many out there might not see. I do love Jesse's breakdown on it. I had a real love of this game, a real love, and I got to tell you, I personally am going to move this line myself. So once you see this line moving, you're going to know that I moved it here in Vegas. That's how much I love it, Ross.
There you go, Mr. Joey D'Amico, who couldn't comment on the game, but still gave us a 20-minute analysis of why you might like the game in any event. No, we're only joking. Anyway, yeah, I mean, this is a tough call for me. I Jesse, you know the way I am. I'm not going to use this game. But the only thing that scares me with your pick is I'm of the mindset when it looks too good to be true, it normally is, because I mean, why is Texas A&M a 1-point favorite in this game based on how hot they've been in Arkansas? Yeah, they played a good game yesterday to beat Auburn, but they've really floundered a bit down the stretch. And take them off their home court, and they're not quite as strong as they normally are, but like most college basketball teams. So we'll see. I mean, my lean would be toward Arkansas just based on the fact that I'm a contrarian guy to start with. So, all right, I'm going to look at the Texas TCU game. These teams played twice during the regular season. I'm going to focus on the total, by the way, which is 146.5. There are some 147s out there as well. 2 meetings during the regular season. Home teams won on both occasions. Final scores of 75-73, 79-75. There was 120 and 125 field goal attempts in both of those games. By college basketball standards, that's a very high number. And what that equates to is a very fast pace. In TCU, 64 field goal attempts per game in their last 5. So it's not only the games against Texas, they're playing at a high tempo, but recent games, they've been doing so as well. 60 is a very fast tempo. They're at 64 per game over their last 4. Both of these teams average 20 free throw attempts and allow 20 or more free throw attempts during conference play. Texas is a very good free throw shooting team at 78.1% in college play. Look, Texas has gone 3-0 to the under in their last 3, 4-1 to the under in their last 5. TCU 3-0 to the under in their last 3, and 7-2 to the under in their last 9. Yet this total opened at 147. Some places still have it at 147, and others have it at 146.5. So despite all those unders being played by both teams in recent games, the total hasn't moved. And so that tells me something in itself. And by the way, Texas won their last 2, and they're 12-2 to the over this year off back-to-back wins. 155.2 points per game. TCU is, I mentioned, 3-0 to the under in their last 3. That's the 3rd time this has happened this season. They have not gone over the total or under the total, in 4 straight games all year. As a matter of fact, the 2 previous times they went 3-0 to the under in their last 3. Both games went over the total with combined scores of 150 and 175 points. You guessed it, guys. I like TCU and Texas over 146.5. Joe, your thoughts?
Well, Ross, I always enjoy your breakdowns and your angles, and I'm not going to buck you on your total. I think you're definitely on the right side there. But I looked at the side in this game. Yesterday, TCU played just an amazing over-the-top game against a very formidable opponent in Kansas State. They won that game with authority. They're playing good basketball. However, Texas has been covering. They're playing well, and I want you to know that I think they can catch this team. They match up well with TCU, and I think they could catch them in a big letdown situation here. I really do. I think TCU. They're going to be a little spent after yesterday as well. They were running gun yesterday. They might come in a little fatigued today, especially by the second half. I think if you get this game in a round two, I definitely have a lean on the Longhorns here. I think they catch them in letdown mode.
There you go. So Joey has a small lean toward Texas -2 against TCU. Jesse, your thoughts on this contest?
Well, Ross, I'd like to remind our viewers that I gave out TCU and their win over Kansas State on this show with you and Sean. I mentioned Mike Miles Jr. They missed him for 6 games right in the heart of conference play. They lost 5 of those 6 games. And I said that I believe this TCU team is underrated because if he didn't miss those games, they probably would have had a better record, would have had better overall stats. I think that comes into play here again. I mean, Mike Miles Jr. scored 22 points against Kansas State yesterday. These two teams split the regular season series. Miles Jr. didn't play in the loss at Texas. They've played 3 straight games decided by 5 points or less, so they have that tendency to play close games. Now, likely the 2.5 or 2 points you're going to catch won't come into play, but I still think I'll take the points with TCU.
All right, so Joey and Jesse are on opposite sides of the lean on this game. I like the official pick on this game is TCU Texas over 147.5. And Joey, the Duke Miami game. Who'd you have, Joe? Again, tell the folks.
I didn't put it on the Duke Miami. I didn't put it out yet.
Oh, you didn't do it yet?
No,
it's his turn to go. He's ready to rock. Look at him.
Oh my goodness! I apologize.
You can't hold a good
Joe.
man down.
Okay.
I'm so used to you talking. I figure by now you gave out a pick. All right, Joey, Duke and Miami. I was wondering. I can't remember Joe's pick. Well, that's why.
God, Ross, I love you.
I
man,
apologize, brother.
There's no apologies necessary. It's
Take it away, my friend.
Well, Ross, my friends, I think this might be one of the most entertaining and exciting matchups on the college tournament card today. If this game was being played at a true neutral site, I know it's technically a neutral site, but this game was being played in, let's say, the middle of Kansas, I would make Miami a small 1-point favorite. However, it is being played in Greensboro, where? North Carolina. Now, while it might not be Duke territory, you're going to see a lot of Duke faithful fans in the stands here. What's funny about the Blue Devils, Ross, Jesse, sports fans, is when playing at home this season, they were 16-0. They went just 4-6 as a true visitor and 4-2 on neutral sites. Once again, you're going to see a lot of their faithful blue shirts in the stands, so it's going to be a friendly crowd for them. After running up the score on the Panthers yesterday, they did sit a couple of their starters late in the game. However, I like that but, always a big but. The Hurricanes have played them very, very tough. They've won 3 of the last 5 straight up, and more importantly, for our purposes, they've covered 5 straight meetings in this series. This isn't about who wins. This is about who covers, and Miami covers against Duke, my friends. If you look at the Hurricanes, they had a tough time yesterday against the Demon Deacons. They eked out a 2-point victory, which was the 3rd straight no cover. And I think a lot of people are going to look at that trend when handicapping this matchup. Guys, don't make the mistake of having yesterday influence today. Granted, Duke hasn't lost a game since just before Valentine's Day, and they have blown out some good opponents, but it can't be sitting well with Miami, that as the 14th ranked team in the country, the co-regular season conference championship champion, come in here as an underdog of a couple of baskets. That don't sit well. And by the way, they're also 12-2 all-time, facing a lower-seeded team in the tournament. I think this is going to be a very tight game. Therefore, I put a small lean on the Hurricanes getting the points, folks. By the way, FYI, Blue Devils have only covered 1 of their last 11 following an ATS win. They don't follow up back-to-back ATS wins, guys. Once again, small lean on the Hurricanes.
There you go, Joey D'Amico. We finally got to him. I apologize for that, folks. It's just that, like I said, Joey, he's so vibrant and he comments on every game. I could have swore he gave out a pick. but then again, I couldn't remember. So I'm getting old. Anyway, Jesse, you're not getting old. You're still young, my friend. And what do you think of this game, this Miami and Duke game?
Well, Joe and I disagreed in Texas TCU, but I think I'm going to be riding with Joe here. I did give out a pick on Miami myself earlier today. I will add to all the brilliant things that Joe said, though. They're coming off that big win over Pitt. Duke Blue Devils are. They're 0-5 against the spread off a win of 20 or more points. I'll also point out that, as Joe said, Miami's covered in 5 straight against Duke. These teams did split the season series. Duke undefeated at home. Their win over Miami on their home court by just 2 points, and they were lucky to get the win as it was. So you're giving me points with Miami. I think Miami's the better team. I'll take Miami.
I think Miami, in my opinion, is the better team in terms of how deep each of these teams could go in the tournament. I think Miami, with a little bit of luck in the draw, could be a Final Four team. I really do. They don't get a lot of support fan-wise. Like Joey said, the big thing here is Duke will virtually be playing at home in Greensboro because Miami can't draw at home, let alone travel on the road. But having said that, I got to take Duke in this game. I just the higher ranked team is an underdog here when that type of situation comes up. And Sean Higgs always points this out. It's always a good idea to at least try to make an excuse to use the lower seeded team or the lower ranked team as a favorite against the higher ranked team. So I'm going to have a small lean on Duke. All right. Our official picks, though, is Miami plus 2.5 over Duke from Joe D'Amico. Jesse is going to go with Texas A&M. They're -1, but I'm assuming Jesse likes the money line at -120. And Ross Benjamin's going to take Texas and TCU over the total of 146.5. Those are our 3 free picks for Friday, March the 10th. And before we go, Jesse, tell the folks how you've been doing of late and what you may have coming up.
Well, Ross, 3-2 day yesterday, as you mentioned, 4 days in a row, four winning days in a row. You can see me on Twitter at Jesse Schul, and you'll see some great barbecue pics if you check me today. And you can come to jesseschul.com for deals. Let's hand it back to Joe.
Joey?
Well, Ross, I will tell you, I'm going to have to ask Jesse for some money. He put up a great barbecue picture last night, and I was so tempted. I took a bite out of my phone on the picture. I chipped a tooth. So I'm going to send him my orthodontist bill. Having said that, guys, they might as well nail the name Joe D'Amico on every leaderboard and every website I'm on. I did have a bad day yesterday, 1-4. I take all responsibilities, but I make no excuses, guys. I bounce back today like a champion. I have 4 big premium releases going out on all the websites I'm on. 23-11 odds makers mistake, 8-0 Vegas prize guide, my ACC money maker, my big blue chip play 22-4. I want you to know, guys, I'm on Sports Memo, Sports Capping, Vegas Top Dogs, you name it, Playbook Sports, Don Best. Having said that, though, Ross, my free pick phone won again yesterday, 6-2 the last 8 days. Every day on a pre-recorded message line, because I know how much you like my melodic voice, you can get a free winner. 1-800-563-8854. That's 1-800-JOE-8854. Call each and every day. No BS, no callbacks, just a free pick because I want you to even out the playing field with your bookmakers.
There you go. And if you haven't absorbed it yet, Joey has confidence. I'll leave it at that. Anyway, you could find me at rbwins.com. That's rbwins.com. That's my personal website. I'm also on sportsmemo.com, sportscapping.com, several other sites, playbooksports.com. I'll have 5 picks in college basketball going tonight, coming off a 2-1 day yesterday, like I alluded to, with winners on Boise State and Penn State. College basketball totals didn't have any yesterday, but 40-22. Since March 11th of last year. That's 65%, folks. College basketball 10-star top plays, which are the equivalent of what others call their best bets. 106-80 with my last 186 That's good for 57%. Dime bettors up $18,180 during that course of time. And it doesn't stop there. My NBA totals as well, 23 and 16 with my last 39, good for 59%. And my NBA 10-star top plays, 26 and 14, the last 40, 65%, up over $11,000 during that course of time for dime bettors. Again, rbwins.com is where I prefer you find me. And I give you a guarantee. If you don't win, you don't make a profit. I'll credit your account the exact amount of your purchase price. You could use that money any which way you like toward any future purchases in any sport. So for Jesse Schul and Mr. Joe D'Amico, I'm Ross Benjamin. We like to wish each and every one of you all the very best. Take care and God bless, folks.